Hey, what's up, guys? I wanted to make you a quick video to talk about today's two biggest fights, in my opinion, and that is the Josh Taylor Teofimo Lopez fight and the Jaime Munguia Sergiy Derevyanchenko fight. All right, guys. Again, this is not a big play weekend for me. I did do, I think 3 small plays. I did. All right, because I'm saving the big plays for the Crawford Spence fight. All right. Now, when it comes to Taylor and Lopez, if I had to pick a winner in the fight, I'm going with Josh Taylor. All right. He was in my top 3 pound for pound. I believe he is overall a better fighter. He's a naturally bigger fighter. I think he has many advantages in the fight. All right, and the money's been coming in on him. At one sports book, I think he's almost a minus 300 favorite. All right. But honestly, I would not play a winner in this fight because, Josh lost his last fight and got a give decision. And Teofimo, of course, he coming off the Cambosa's defeat, and people think he lost to Sandor. It should have been a draw on my card if Sandor would have got credit for the second knockdown. All right, so neither guy has been looking spectacular lately. All right, which version of these guys are going to show up in this fight? If the real Josh Taylor shows up, he should win this fight wide, comfortably, maybe even by stoppage. All right, because you have to factor in that Teofimo, was a 135 pounder, and Josh really should be a 147 at this point. And I also have to think about that. He may be sticking around at 140 too long. All right. I understand he wanted to fulfill his contract with Catterall, because Catterall allowed him to fight for undisputed. After that fight, I think he should have moved up. All right, really should have moved up after Ramirez, but contractually, he wanted to fight Catterall. All right, but draining the 140, maybe it's taking something out of him at this point. All right, I think he's 32 at this point. So you have to factor that in too. The weight cut, him fighting at this weight. How is he going to perform? Has he lost something? Where's his head and his heart and his confidence at? But Teofimo, his head is all over the place too with things that he's saying and doing. All right, so picking a winner in this fight, man, putting money on a winner, I would not do it. I have not done it. All right, if I made a play in this fight, it would either be the over at 10.5 rounds, which I'm not. I don't like high overs like that. If it was 7.5, 8.5, I'd feel a lot more comfortable. All right. And that's sizably favored. I think a minus 215 at FanDuel on the over. All right. Or for the fight to go the distance, which is also favored. Those are the plays that I would make. All right. But what I did do, the plays that I actually made because of the value. All right. Currently, you can get a plus 198 on FanDuel for Teo to be knocked down. All right. It was plus 225. And somebody or some bettors got in on that and it dropped. I think that's a good play because he got dropped by Cambosa's, who I don't think is a big puncher. All right, in the first round of that fight. All right. Then in his last fight, he got dropped twice against Sandor Martin, who is not a power puncher. I know his record does not have a lot of knockouts, but as I've always said, he has a respectable punch. He has a punch that can hurt you, all right, that can stun you, all right. He's just a guy that does not really go for the knockout, all right. So, and if Sandor Martin can drop him, if Cambosa's can drop him at 135, I definitely think Josh Taylor could drop him, all right, just like he dropped Ramirez, all right. You look at his box rec, a lot of guys, he has dropped a lot of guys. If he hasn't stopped him, he's dropped him, all right. Prograde probably being one of the only recent exceptions, all right. But if he's hitting Teo with the uppercut that he hit Ramirez with, catching him coming in, just like the same way Sandor Martin did, catching him coming in, dropping him. I think that's a great line, all right. And I parlayed that with my Crawford Spence play, all right. Again, which I'm not revealing right now, all right. But yeah, so it's kind of a long-term play for me. All right. It will be very profitable, in the coming weeks if Crawford Spence plays out the way I think it will. All right. Again, I'm not revealing what I got going on here. All right. No, not yet. That's coming. All right. Now also the other play that I made. All right, and I played it twice. All right, and this is kind of a risky play, high odds, but man, could be very profitable if it plays out. All right, and that is they have a prop on FanDuel, both fighters to be knocked down at a plus 1400. I hopped on that shit immediately. All right, and it's still available as I do this video. Guys, both of these guys have been dropped in their recent fights. Tio in 2 of his last 3 fights, including his last fight, he was dropped twice, against a guy who was not the puncher that Josh Taylor is. And then Josh Taylor was dropped against Catterall in his last fight. All right, again, was he just underestimating Catterall? Was Catterall just that good, which he is very good? Or is it the weight cut? Is it affecting his punch, which is at 140? So, and they doing a max bet of $100 on that. All right, so, you're not gonna be able to make a huge play on it. So, if you put a 50 on it, both guys go down, 700 in profit. So yes, I played that individual, and I also played it with the Crawford Spence play. All I can say is if both guys go down, and if Crawford Spence plays out the way that I think it will, it is going to be a very, very big payday. All right, that's all I can say. All right, and that's not even including the other things that I'm going to do with that play for Crawford Spence. All right, so those are the plays that I made this weekend. All right, but other plays that I would recommend: the over 10.5, which is a minus 215 at FanDuel, and I think that's the best line on it out there. Or the fight to go the distance. All right, because I think this fight is going the distance. Neither of these guys have been stopped. Both of these guys are tough. At the same time, they do have the ability to stop each other. Both guys have a punch. But I would favor this fight to go the distance. I would favor it to go over 10.5 rounds. All right. Now, quickly on the Derevyanchenko Munguia fight. Again, I wouldn't pick a winner in that fight. Munguia has improved. He is not the Kung Fu brawler that he was. His boxing has improved under Erik Morales. All right. I understand what Golden Boy is doing here. They're taking a undersized middleweight, a guy who was talking about dropping to 154 at the Charlo fight. They bringing him up to 168. Munguia has size advantages, he has youth advantages, and probably power advantages. All right. And I think they kind of gauge what his boxing skill is at this point against a guy who's very seasoned, but he's 37, all right, and he's undersized. So maybe if he's getting outboxed, maybe his power can save the day, all right. But if I was to play this fight, it'd be the same thing. I would play the over, which is at 10.5 rounds. I think it's at around a minus 160. On FanDuel, I don't even think they have the over run. You just got to play the fight going distance or not. But and the fight is favored to go distance, slightly. The only fear in this fight is Derevyanchenko. He is 37. He is, outsized by Munguia. Could he be at the age, and could he be at a weight and size disadvantage where he could be stopped? That it is a risk in that fight, in that play. All right. But this guy went 12 with Jacobs, Triple G. He went the distance with I think Adamas. So Derevyanchenko's tough, but the age, so I wouldn't pick a winner in that fight. I see money's coming in on Derevyanchenko. I can understand why. He's the more seasoned guy. But Derevyanchenko did lose his last fight, and I said to myself, is he declining? And I feel bad for him because I thought he beat Jacobs and Triple G. He should be held a 2-time world champion in my eyes. The guy's that good, and I thought he won those fights. So, in that fight, I will play the over, or I'll play it to go the distance. But again, it is a risk because of Derevyanchenko's age, and is he outsized? Could he be outgunned by a guy in his 20s while he is 37. So really that's it, guys. Just some quick thoughts from me on these 2 fights this weekend. Look forward to see how they playing out. I will be watching both, and I will come on with thoughts afterwards. But again, the only plays that I made were T.O. to be knocked down, paired with my Crawford Spence play. Both fighters to be knocked down individual, and both fighters to be knocked down with my Crawford Spence play. All right, my 3 plays that I made, all on FanDuel. All right, so that's it. Let me know what you guys think. Good luck to you if you place wagers this weekend. A lot of fights this weekend, but these are the 2 biggest, in my opinion, and the 2 that I would touch. I really wouldn't touch anything else. So that's it. Let me know what you think. Good luck to you if you place wagers. Hope you win some money. Enjoy the fights, and I'll check in with you soon. Thanks for watching.